teacher.
My name is Jason Ray, and this is my speech, Aerobics and Exercise Correlations to Brain Health. Researchers suggest a new case of dementia is detected every 4 seconds globally. They estimate that by year 2050, more than 115 million people will have dementia worldwide. These findings, directly pulled from Harvard Medical School's website, illustrate the vast and fast-spreading medical disease and degeneration across the world. What if I told you aerobic exercises, just like the ones most every kid in the US has seen their mom do, prevented this mental illness? Not everyone has been affected by dementia, I get that. But think for just a second. Have you ever struggled with low self-esteem? Have you ever noticed someone going through depression in their symptoms? Aerobic exercise is not merely good for you. Aerobic exercise is a basic building block to a life of mental clarity and focus. Needs, satisfactions, and visualization. I'll be going over inactivity and the impact of aerobic exercise, the diseases in which aerobic exercise impacts and prevents, and then also I would like you to close your eyes for just a second. Picture yourself getting out of bed vigorously with confidence, wide awake, remembering your last thought you had before falling asleep. This is how I feel every day and why I want to share my secret with you. As we grow older from childhood, our brain increases in volume and we learn how to obtain knowledge along the way. Next thing you know, you are 25, 50, even 70, and the capabilities of your cognitive power diminish along with your brain's vasculature and size. According to the US National Library of Medicine, the brain shrinks with increasing age and there are changes at all levels from molecules to morphology. As we age, our brains shrink in volume, particularly the frontal cortex, and physical changes are occurring, although they cannot be seen. It is proven through innovative neuroimaging that the volume of the brain and or its weight declines with age at a rate of around 5% per decade after the age of 40, with an actual rate of change or decline possibly increasing with age, particularly over age 70. This was found in Aging and the Brain by R. Peters. Now let's focus on the lack of aerobic exercise and its impact. The lack of aerobic exercise not only allows essentially white plaque to build up around the surface and spaces of your brain, this lack of exercise has proven that without aerobic exercise, the likelihood of a stroke or developing mental illness is much greater. The essential functions of humanity were learned long before our time. Our motor skills trained through hunting and foraging. Aerobic exercise or fitness spares age-related illness, loss of brain tissue during aging, and enhancing functional aspects of higher order regions, involving the control of cognition. This I picked from the article titled "The Influence of Exercise on Cognitive Abilities." Next, we will cover the benefits of aerobic exercise on the brain. Aerobic exercise increases blood flow from heart to brain, sending oxygen molecules into the brain, spurring higher activity levels in the prefrontal and medial temporal cortexes. The first sign of evidence I came across was the obvious. Studies of accelerated brain activity and capability in the already active/fit individuals. These studies on ncbi.gov conclude innovations in neuroimaging have been critical to document the relationship between the cognitive gain and the activity of specific neural networks in the cerebral cortex and hippocampus in individuals who practice exercise. From one study found on Oxford's Academic Journal of Psychosis, in conclusion with available evidence, indicates the exercise improves cognitive functioning in people with schizophrenia, particularly in the domains of social cognition, working memory, and attention. The benefits of exercise come directly from its ability to reduce insulin resistance, reduce inflammation, and stimulate the release of growth factors, including chemicals in the brain that affect the health of brain cells, the growth of new blood vessels in the brain, and even the abundance and survival of new brain cells. This was found on Harvard's Health and Publishing website. Now, almost all studies over the past decade include the evidence of improved function in the prefrontal and medial temporal cortexes, but what is even more exciting is the finding that engaging in a program of exercise of moderate intensity over 6 months or a year is associated with an increase in the volume of selected brain regions, says Dr. Scott McGinnis, neurologist at Brigham and Women's Hospital. As we can all see, aerobic exercise is not just important, it is essential to life. Have you noticed all the celebrities talking about being healthy, eating cleaner, needing to exercise? Whilst my view may be biased, at the end of the day, the research does not lie. Aerobic exercise impacts your entire body, and in a positive manner, but most importantly, influencing your brain productivity. In the future, there will be a larger divide between the strong and the lesser, People who exercise will pass on this hobby to their family and children, and the increased activity through the bloodline will make it strong, and not just physically, but mostly mentally. After all, everything we think and act on is due to the cognitive functioning of the brain, and we must take care of it. We all have a mark to make, and this is mine. I want you to feel the same enigma and energy I echo out to the world. The final statistic I have portrayed was purposeful and intent. I wanted you to understand, and I wanted to guarantee that you understood the residual effects of aerobic exercise. Get up, go for a sprint, walk around briskly in your neighborhood, challenge yourself to be a better you. I promise you will tap into the next gear of thinking, and you will be amazed. January 26, 2018. Smack. 2 cars simultaneously collide into a man's truck, going over 60 miles per hour. After concussion treatment, this man had a choice to make. Who will I be? Well, I decided I was going to start with running a lap around the lake. After that accident, I went back to college, completing 3 semesters while working full-time at public supermarkets, paying my way through school. Imagine what you could gain from just 1 lap around the lake.